call the meeting to order. I want to welcome all of you to the main meeting of the Resident Council. Just a reminder to please turn off your cell phones and put them on vibrate. What? It is on. So please turn off your cell. Please turn off your cell phones and put them on vibrate, so it won't disturb your neighbor or people who are speaking. First on the agenda, the minutes of April 29th. They were distributed in the green bag of May 5th. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, we'll accept them as distributed. Becky Wyatt is going to present the opening reflection, and Becky is the coordinator for this, so she's the one to talk to if you would like to volunteer to do the opening reflection.
Notes made up of F, B flat D, and high F, written by a Civil War general named Daniel Butterfield. He wrote this new bugle signal to announce lights out for his troops. It eventually became used as the solemn tribute of sorrow, gratitude, and memorial, and it's still used today.
We had no cares and concerns this month. Linda did not have to send out any sympathy cards, which is nice. We have 3 guests this month. The employee of the month will be introduced by Ashley Romanowski, who is the director of nursing. And our fitness resident of the month will be introduced by Jill Smith, who's the director of lifestyle wellness. Ashley?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ashley Romanowski, and I'm the Director of Nursing. I brought with me Valerie Wenty White, and she is our April Employee of the Month. So Val's been with us for a year now. Actually, her anniversary was May 20th, so she's been here for a full year at Wesley Willows. I'm going to read to you a little bit about what her fellow employees said about her. Valerie demonstrates good customer service by consistently going above and beyond, providing exceptional care and service to our residents. She treats each resident with genuine compassion, kindness, and respect, always taking the time to ensure they feel heard, valued, and cared for. Her positive attitude and uplifting sense of humor brighten the day for both residents and staff alike, creating a warm and welcoming environment. Valerie demonstrates teamwork and spirit by always being willing to step in whenever needed and never hesitates to help pick up extra responsibilities for the good of our team and our residents. She is dependable, hardworking, and maintains a positive outlook even during challenging situations. Her willingness to support her coworkers and contribute whenever necessary makes her an invaluable team member. Valerie inspires seniors to celebrate life through her compassion, joy, and positivity she brings every day. She builds meaningful relationships relationships with residents and makes each interaction personal and uplifting. Her caring nature, dedication, and sense of humor help residents feel comfortable, appreciated, and genuinely happy in their daily lives.
Jill, it's your turn.
Okay.
She said I'm crazy. Okay, I'm okay with that. Dave, can you come on up here? Dave is our fitness resident of the month for May. Have you seen Dave working out? Does he not put all his heart and soul into it? Have you seen him going up and down the grand staircase? If he's in there doing the new step, he's not doing the new step easy mode, full blast. And he's very inspiring to everyone around him, and he is very encouraging and kind. And I just really think you're an amazing person. And on top of that, inspiration to us. I mean, you had some setbacks, you were right back in the gym. And thank you for all your help at our Pump It for Parkinson's. I didn't know you were such a cheerleader. I mean, you're hired forever and ever and ever. So I just wanted to give Dave a shout out in front of all you. He gets this beautiful certificate to put on his fridge next to the grandchildren's certificates. Yeah. And is there anything you want to say about fitness to us, Dave?
Yeah, be fit. Well, thank you for this recognition. What can I say? I really enjoy it. And before I came here, my mother's family especially, they don't last a long time. And so it wasn't until I moved here that I realized, my gosh, you can make it past 56. So I got into exercising because I want to be with all you guys. So thank you very much.
Okay, next we have a board member, Don Williams, who is also a resident here at West Louis.
Thank you, and it's good to be here. I was reflecting on what I might say this afternoon. Most of you know me. Most of you know that I've been on the board for quite a while. I was on it for 10 years, starting back in 2003, and now completing about 8 years of a second term on the board. I was reflecting, though, on the makeup of the board. The board has been very intentional in selecting people coming onto the board, selecting from the standpoint of having various backgrounds, educational experience, knowledge, so that we get input from a variety of people when we're discussing things at the board meetings. And I think that has been very good. We've had people with education backgrounds, as myself. We have people with manufacturing, with medical backgrounds, IT. But we try to keep a mix of people on the board so that we can hear different opinions and different reflections on things that the board has to do. Things like finance, and policy making, which is what the major role of the board of trustees is. So just to kind of give you that background, that people, as we select new board members, it's very intentional of bringing people on with various backgrounds. Thank you.
Next up is the new resident introductions, and we'll start with Little Ridge West Homes. And Kim Van Buskert and Martha Burns both have people to introduce.
We went a few months and had nothing, and now we got everything. And you haven't seen me for a while, I'm back. I get to introduce Tom Cook, spelled K-O-C-H. Tom started out, you probably familiar because he's been in Wilzesta and he's been in the green bag, so my goal is to give you a little bit different information and not be up here all over. Tom started out in accounting at Northern Illinois until he took an elective class in environmental studies, and that did it. He spent over 30 years in environmental engineering in water and soil conservation. He tested for hazardous chemicals. Although he spent most of his time in Wisconsin, the company he worked for had him traveling in lots of different places, mostly the Midwest. And when I asked him where the most interesting place was to live, he said Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. He learned to surf fish there, but wouldn't wade in the water because of the kinds of fish he caught on his line. His least favorite place to work was in the Shawnee National Forest because he's not a fan of poison ivy or ticks. Who can blame the guy? Tom is an Air Force veteran, having served during the Vietnam era. He was blessed to be assigned in Quebec, Canada. Tom and his beloved wife, Judy, lived over 30 years in a Frank Lloyd Wright Usonian house in the Marshall, Wisconsin area. Judy had a stroke in 2017, and Tom lovingly cared for her until her passing last year. In fact, when I interviewed him, he spent 10 minutes of loving remembering of his wife, and then I said, okay, but I get to introduce you. You might know her sister, Jeannie Reese. Tom likes to cook. He feels loves to cook is too strong a word. His interests include backgammon, solitaire, and he enjoys chess. And so I think he's hooked up with the chess dudes now. He's interested in joining that group of guys. He also likes to fish. If anyone else is interested, please see him. Would you like to stand up, please? Please welcome Tom Cook to the Wesley Willis family. Thank you, Martha's turn.
Thank you for those lovely words about my husband, David, who wishes I would work out more. Mary, it is my pleasure to introduce a new resident, Mary Wolf, who moved to Wesley Willows this winter from Stillman Valley. Mary and her late husband, Irv, lived on property along the Rock River near the Girl Scout camp, where they had Arabian show horses. Originally from the Chicago suburbs, Mary started her 40-plus year paralegal career in the San Francisco area in the 1960s, and she has some stories. She lived in Ogle County the last 48 years. Mary brought with her to Urim Lane a black lab named Xena and a black cat named Zippy. Although she has no children, she admits she is not shy about telling some people how they should be raising theirs. Mary, would you please stand, turn around, and give a wave to everybody in the back, please? We hope you'll join lots of our activities and make lots of new friends here at Wesley Willows. And the other couple I have up front, you actually may have met before. Michael and Patricia Gann are on Catalpa Woods now, and they're from the east side of Rockford, where they've lived since 1975. Michael has been on the Wesley Willows board. This is your second turn around, and if you attended the gala, you heard Mike speak during the Lifetime Impact Award presentation to Dick Layton. Because although Mike retired as president and CEO from MPEC, a motor parts and automotive equipment corporation, he formerly worked at Barbara Coleman with Dick Layton. He's an avid golfer, and please invite him the next time. His board service in the community has included the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois, Patriots Gateway, and the YMCA of Rock River Valley. The couple has lived in Rockford, as I said, since '75, and Trish, as she likes to be called, in addition to raising their 2 daughters, serves on the board of the Rockford Women's Club downtown. She enjoys reading historical novels. She looks forward to having more time for world travel, which they both enjoy. Mike and Pat, please, Trish, sorry. Please stand, turn, and wave.
Nancy Woolley is the welcomer from the suites, and she has a new resident to introduce.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure today to introduce Judy Lightfoot, who was born and raised in Rockford. Following her graduation from West High School in 1967, she married her husband just 10 days later. I am quoting Judy here where she says they had a beautiful life together. They spent the next 20 years in Rockford and Westlake Village.
There's a mic.
I think it may, oh, okay, I'll try harder. And they raised their 2 sons there. Judy worked for 2 dental practices in Rockford while Jim spent his entire career of 37 years at Woodward Governor and worked his way up from entry level through the ranks up to top management. At 53, they retired and moved to Florida, where they spent the next 18 years. During these retirement years, Judy and Jim played golf and pickleball. And according to Judy, they didn't master either sport. They also took several cruises. Some included their growing family. Because of Jim's declining health, they moved back to Illinois in February in 2024. Unfortunately, Jim passed away in April of that year. Judy turned to family and spending much of her time with her 2 sons, their wives, 2 grandsons, 3 granddaughters, and 2 beloved great-granddaughters. Her best friends, who are residents of Wesley Willows, convinced her to move to Wesley Willows in April of 2026. Her sons and daughters-in-law helped with the move and have continued to be very attentive as she begins her life here. She's still getting settled and hasn't set any goals for her future, except the one goal I think we all share, which is to grow old gracefully. Judy feels she has been very blessed throughout her life and marriage and wonderful family. Please join me now in welcoming Judy Lightfoot to the Wesley Willows community.
Welcome to all of you. We're glad that you were here today. Next on the agenda are some announcements from some of our resident-led groups. First up is Claude Ingracia, and he represents the Resident Council Social Committee.
Damn hitch in my get along is not getting along. Anyway, I'm here to announce that the Wesley Willows Social Committee is having a concert June the 9th here in this room, Tuesday. Doors open at 6 o'clock, show starts at 6:30, and we're gonna have Dorothy Page Turner. For those of you who are familiar with her, you know she's well loved here, and she enjoys playing here. It's no reservations, no tickets, just come and enjoy it and have a very good time. And with that being said, I must take my leave. There are other duties that await me. First and foremost is something I have to do for she who must be obeyed. And besides, I'm overparked into 15 minutes. So I will see you all when I see you, hopefully at the concert. Thank you.
Patty Bigger is up next, and she's going to talk about the auxiliary ice cream social coming up.
I'm glad it's not today. I'm here just to reconfirm a different date. Last month, we had a tentative date of June 11th. It is officially and formally and contracted for Monday, June 29th. So mark it on your calendar. We will begin serving ice cream to residents at 12:30. We'll be for an hour on the east side, just down from the drive at Decor and More. Then we're gonna move the truck over to the town center parking lot outside of phase 1 from 1:45 to 2:45. You get the gist, 1 hour, move, 1 hour, move. And when we wrap it up, we'll be at the parking lot at the garden center and dog park. And that'll be from 3 to 4. If it's necessary for you to tape a game show, do so. But do not come to me and say, you know what's on right now. Okay, so it is free to residents. It is sponsored and covered by your Wesley Willows Auxiliary. And I still need 3 volunteers, so you can see me afterwards. Answer. Absolutely you can. Okay? The question is, could he move along with the truck? You will find that that bowl of those scoops of homemade old-fashioned ice cream is very filling. So. Any other questions? Thank you.
And Ron Aroncy has something to tell us about timeless treasures.
Hi, I'm Levon. It's great to see so many people here. I'm the manager at Timeless Treasures, and I invite you to come across the street and shop at, we're in the lower level of the harbor, and also I need donations. So go through your, especially women's clothes and jewelry. So go through your closets and your dresser drawers and knickknacks too. So I appreciate donations. And also, if anyone would like to volunteer for 1 or 2 days a month, that would be wonderful. Just see me. Thank you.
Just a reminder that there, for each area that you live in, whether it's the west side, the east side, or the suites, that you have a liaison available to you. So if you have some kind of issue that is sort of pertains to your living area, not just your personal issues, please contact the liaisons, because they come to the president's team and bring those, and from those questions or issues that you raise, that's how the different department heads then come to this meeting and talk about issues. So Mary Trevelyan is over on the east side. Ellen Fuchs is over on the west, and she wanted to make sure that you knew that she was healthy enough to do this job. So you'll call her. And Alice Rice is the liaison of the suites. Okay, now we move on to some business. And we have some bylaws changes that we need to be making. And Joella Warner, Mary Griffith, and Anne Boleyn from the president's team went through the bylaws and suggested these changes. The president's team already has looked at them and has pretty much agreed that these are all needed. The first one is under membership, Article 3, Section 3. This whole section is an addition. The history behind this is that this section actually existed up until COVID. When the Arbor stopped having any kind of meetings, and they had no officers for a number of years. So this section was taken out. That has changed now, so we're putting it back in with the caveat in the parentheses, when it is meeting, so that we're not changing every time we turn around in case they don't have a council that's going. The next one is Article 4 under officers. This too is an addition. And what we wanted to do is add Section A, Parts A and B. Any office may have a co-officer elected at this meeting, and the sharing of those duties would be determined by the co-officers. This has come up several times that people would be willing to take on an elected position, except the time commitment is fairly significant. And they felt like they were traveling, they had family obligations, that they couldn't do this. So having a co-officer would allow for somebody to be identified from the get-go who would cover for them. And this also legitimizes the replacement, like for the secretary especially, that we're not just picking somebody that you haven't elected to be the secretary. Under Article 5, Section 3, this is officers. We added a clause there, and that goes back to the representative from our council to the Arbor Council. And just for your information, they have the identical clauses about representatives in their bylaws. So this allows us to send a representative to their meetings to represent us and to hear about what's going on with them. And under officers, Section 5, it's about the minutes. What we have in here that we're supposed to keep a record of all the minutes. This just puts it where it is now. We changed to electronic file in 2024. It's actually on a memory stick right now instead of hard copies. And then Article 5, the council meetings, and this is under Section 2. In there we had that we would give information by the Green Bag, the Wesley Willows website, Wesley Willows TV station. We deleted those and just changed it to social media, so that we're not trying to keep up with all the changes that are happening these days. So those are the 5 things that we would like to change. Does anybody have any questions pertaining to any of them? Could I have a motion to accept these bylaws changes?
So moved.
A second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We appreciate that. Make our lives easier. Next thing is the election of officers for 2026, 2027. Lois Sale was director of the nominations, and she submits for President Gail Holtzman. This would be my second term this time around. Dana Menarche. Dana, would you please stand as the vice president? And then we want to elect co-secretaries. That's why we already did the amendments to the bylaws. Linda Graber. Linda, would you stand? And Bruce Asher. Are there any nominations from the floor for president? Any nominations for vice president? Any nominations for secretary? Hearing none, may I have a motion to accept the slate of officers as presented?
So moved.
A second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. These officers will begin their terms on July 1st of this year and serve until June 30th of next year. Administration, Natasha McNeil. There she is. She's our Vice President of Advancement, and I know all of you have been asked, several people asked this question about the gala before she came, so hopefully she'll answer it.
Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. First, I want to start off by saying thank you. On Saturday, May the 16th at the Rockford Country Club, the Wesley Willows community celebrated our inaugural Our Hearts, Our Legacy Gala, and it was truly a beautiful evening. Of course, none of that would be possible without the people in this very room. Whether you attended the gala, you participated in the silent auction, you volunteered, shared some words of encouragement, or simply cheered for us from the sidelines, you were definitely a part of our success. As you may know, the gala was an opportunity to celebrate the incredible legacy of Wesley Willows, while we also looked ahead to the future with the introduction of our Securing Today, Ensuring Tomorrow Gala, capital campaign, and Vision 2030 initiatives. As Martha has already mentioned, we did have the privilege of celebrating our very own Dick Layton, and he was awarded the Lifetime Impact Award for his dedication and service both here at Wesley Willows and in the greater community. But one of the most memorable moments for me was being on stage and looking out in the audience, as I do today, and seeing our residents, family, staff members, volunteers, and even community members. It was truly a proud moment for me. Between the ticket sales, donations, and the silent auction, we managed, drumroll, we managed to raise a little over $61,000. Unfortunately, which I have recently learned, we do have to pay our bills, so once we have done so, the remaining amount will go towards the capital campaign. Before I take my seat, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our lovely gala committee. Ann Haynes, if you could just give us a wave. Ellen Fuchs, Patrick LaSalle, Tom Anspaugh, who is part of the Peterson Meadows community. Our staff members, Dave Peterson, who is not here today, he's over at Peterson Meadows, Eric McKnight, who I saw in the back, and Melissa Wright. Thank you. So again, I just want to thank everyone for your support. We could not have done it without you. The gala may be over, but the momentum is just beginning. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Jennifer Ulmer, who is the Vice President of Community Operations, and she has an introduction to make that we've been waiting for.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for having me today. You may or may not have known that we had been searching for a new administrator for the health center and the arbor going back all the way to December of last year. And I am very happy to introduce Lori Schlase, who joined our team last week in taking on that role. Lori comes to us not only with experience as a nurse, but also great experience as a nursing home administrator in other capacities, and I will let her speak about her background herself. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me to your meeting today. I'm so happy to be joining the Wesley Willows family community. I've lived in Rockford since 1991, so the reputation of Wesley Willows, as you all know, is just superb, and so I'm so happy to be here. I've raised my 3 daughters here. I have 6 grandchildren, many of whom still live in the Rockford community. So I've been a nurse in long-term care since I got right out of high school. So when I was 19 years old, I became an LPN and worked in long-term care. And I've worked in a variety of different community here in Rockford and also in Wisconsin. I've been a nursing home administrator. I went back to school and became a nursing home administrator in 2014. And I am absolutely like I said, honored to be a part of this team. If there's ever anything that I can do to support any of you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Next up is Brandon Burkle, who's the Corporate Director of Facilities and Grounds.
Greetings, everybody. Is it a little warm in here? I think we got people to fix that. They're working on it. So bad timing, but we're on it. All right, today we're going to talk about a couple different things. Obviously, we're going to do our work order report for April. This month we had 2,004 work orders created. So that has increased because April 1st we trigger 288 work orders for all the PMs. So our numbers are a bit skewed this month, and that's why some of our response time is going to be a little bit less, and we'll talk more about that when we get into the PM part of it. So out of that 2,004, we completed 1,787, and we've got about 200 out there that are incomplete, and again, most of those are the PM work orders. So still response time is decent, 72% within 1 day, and then 81% within our 2 to 3. So guys, they continue to get after it for sure. Tricia wanted to remind me, everyone, and give you a little tips and tricks with our maintenance care, right? Our maintenance care app that's our portal that we use through WellZesta, or that QR code where residents can enter in that information, their own work orders, that sort of stuff. There's a couple tricks that we want to, help Tricia in her role. Everybody know Tricia? Yeah. So Tricia is like the puppet master. She controls all of that behind the scenes. So when you call, she's entering those in. Or if you enter it in through the QR code, she sees that right away in the morning, and she does the assignments and everything along with the support from Toru. So a couple things that'll help us kind of manage that, help Tricia manage that. You can enter in multiple requests on the same work order. So if you have 5 different things, a light bulb, a leaky faucet, yada, 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 you can put those all on one work order. Those don't need to be separate requests, okay? I like to pad our stats, so it's nice to have those, but it's not necessary. We'll take one work order for 3 or 4 requests. And then when you get that little email that says, hey, your work order's been submitted or completed, once it's done, if you reply to that email, that automatically reopens that work order. That tells the system, uh-oh, they replied, there must be a problem. It'll reopen that, and then now Tricia has to get in there and figure out why. So if you want to praise staff, which many of you do, and we appreciate that, that's really not the avenue to do that. Do that through WellZesta, through that staff recognition tab. That'll be appreciated. But that is there for those issues. If somebody comes in and corrects something that they leave and it malfunctions again, certainly if it's air conditioning this time of year, call Tricia, but you can also reply to that with a note, and then Tricia would see that in the morning. So just a couple tips with maintenance care there. So I spoke about WellZesta and the QR code, so we're tracking that, and I've been telling you guys every month about where we're at. So we continue to see gradual increases on those numbers. So for the month of April, even with the increased work orders, excluding the PM work orders, we had just under 7%, 6.6% of those work orders were created by residents through WellZesta or through that QR code. So that's great. We're seeing good increase on that. Excited about that. We got some work to do. The Peterson Meadows residents are at 10%. So I challenge you to beat that 10%. Let's go. I talked a little bit about preventive maintenance. So last month I did mention that we are going to be a little bit delayed. So ideally we would have those completed in April and May. We are delayed, we know that. That's why you see the work orders are outstanding. So our goal is to get that done here in the month of June. So look forward to that if you haven't, that hasn't already been done at your place. Who got a City of Rockford aggregate program for energy? Many residents did, yep. So I want to remind everybody again, we talked about this last month. That is the city's program. They negotiate the electric rate on your behalf as a resident that was living in a home that pays their own electric, right? So that's usually a 2 or 3 year contract that they do the negotiation for. They sign you up and all that. You can opt out If you choose to, our recommendation is to do nothing, automatically enroll in that program. It's generally in your best interest to do that. There might be other options out there to save you a couple bucks that first year. Most likely you're gonna pay more later. So our recommendation is to do nothing. If you choose to do your own thing, that's fine too. All right, last question. Who knows what MemoMate is? One. Raise your hand. MemoMate, all right. Brett, you better raise your hand, you know. Okay, so MemoMate is our survey AI technology, right? That will call you and we can do surveys and that sort of thing. So along with our Vision 2030 initiatives, part of that is our technology. We've been talking about infrastructure, wiring, Wi-Fi, all these things that we're doing or want to do in the future. Part of that is doing a survey, finding out where we're at now today, right? So we're going to use that to gauge our progress throughout the year. So today is kind of ground zero this week. This is our first specifically technology survey through MemoMate that has started this week. So if you haven't received a phone call, you certainly will. And then you can also call that number that was listed on your letter that you received in the green bag or our mail estimate.
What, is there a specific phone number for MemoMate? I do not want to answer calls that are from unknown phones.
Yep, good question. Is there a specific phone number for MemoMate? If we read that letter, it says in there, so you'll have a specific number in that letter that is designated to the home's residents, and there's a different phone number designated to the suites. So you'll want to program that number in your phone and list it MemoMate or Wesley Willows survey. When they call you, they will announce this is Wesley Willows in that fashion.
So I got the call right before I came today. Except all the questions seem to, I live in a home, all the questions seem to apply to the town center though, about what I think of the Wi-Fi system, etc. I don't use the Wi-Fi system here. I have my own Wi-Fi system in my house.
Sure. The question is that the questions don't relate to the homes. They do in general, so you can answer no to those questions if you don't use those areas. We still want to know. We still want to know from residents that are coming up to the building to use the Wi-Fi and all those things. So it's still good information to have. We'll know where you live, and we'll take those into consideration by that number because you're calling that number that's designated to the home. So the survey is split out by where you live, essentially.
In answer to Laura's question, when I got the call, it said robot. So that was an identification, and so I knew that it was safe.
Sounds real.
Yeah, I mean, nobody would use that if they were trying to trick me. They would use it really,
Right.
like they're using a voice. Okay.
So she must have had a robot come up on the screen.
It said
Yeah.
robot. I was called by robot, and
Okay.
robot left me a message.
Yeah, and that's probably based, depending on your carrier, might have some settings like that.
Oh.
But the best bet is to program that phone number in, because if you live in the homes, that survey is always gonna come from that number.
Okay.
Same thing with the suites, same thing with the arbor. They're specific to the living style so that we can track those survey results based on that. The comment was she received a phone call from somebody asking about life story. That to me sounds like that's a scam. That's not what we're doing. We're gonna, that phone, that call that you get is gonna represent the Wesley Willows. Yeah. Good. That's a great example of exactly what to do. When you get those phone calls that you're just not sure, hang up the phone, call Ken in IT or call one of the administrative staff, and we can tell you not if it's from us.
Just want to say thank you for the repairs to the sidewalks.
Thank you for the repair of this. We're not done yet. That's what we're thinking about. But yes, we did make a little progress on that, so it's ongoing. Let me make sure I covered everything here. Yeah, so the other thing with that survey, again, that's our baseline survey. We value the feedback, and Brett's gonna make sure that we take that serious and we, we act on the feedback that we're getting. So, feel free to be honest 100%, and, we're gonna use that for future plans and development. So, another update just with that strategy and that part of that Vision 30 plan that we're working on right now. We are working currently on the arbor, so there's a big wiring project similar to what we did here in the suites last fall. So we're actively working on that. We're waiting on some hardware that's coming, some new cameras, all of that stuff. So exciting things happening across the street right now. So more to come. Any other questions?
Are the sprinklers on yet?
Are the sprinklers on yet? Yes, they are on. They're only in the turf. Keep in mind they're only in the turf, and we need some rain. Ironically, as much as we had in the spring. So I will say that they are dialing in a couple of things, and they are working through some challenges with the systems, but they are on.
Lawns on Windy Ridge and Talbot have had no water. Right. They're like crispy.
All right. We don't charge extra for that. So crispy grass. Tricia waved her hand, so she might have a comment on that.
Master is aware. Someone called it in this morning, so.
Perfect. See, Puppet Master, I told you. There was an issue on Windy Ridge and Catalpa, irrigation related, sorry. Tricia's on it.
I realize that Manny's are a little short-handed, but we're not mulched yet on Catalpa or then. I mean, a month ago, they were a couple blocks away, they're still a couple blocks away. Our perennial girl, how are they gonna mulch?
Yep. Comment was that we still have some mulch to do. I talked to Jeff this morning. We're gonna be really close by the end of the week, but he's thinking they're gonna go into next week, so soon. Hopefully less than a week.
And they did a wonderful job of mulching our area. The mulch is fabulous, and they work so hard. Those men were just pushing and pulling that mulch all day long, and we really have to praise you. What a fabulous company. So professional.
Good, thanks for the comment. The comment was that Manny's crew did a great job on the mulch that did get laid, so we'll pass that on. We just had a couple weeks there early on that he's really trying to catch up on, so we've had some dry weather and they've made some progress, but we still have some work to do. Anything else? All right, thank you.
And thank you for filling the potholes over on the east side in front of the garages. Glad to see that got done today. Jessica went on vacation and came back sick. So she is not with us today. So Jennifer Alber, our Vice President of Community Operations, is going to cover a couple of things that Jessica was going to cover.
All right, just a couple. And I didn't print this, so I apologize if I have my back to you while I look at the occupancy report. So it looks like for our east side homes, we have 0 available and 2 on hold. West side homes has 1 available and 3 on hold. Suites has 4 available and 3 on hold. Suites 2 has 1 available, 0 on hold. Suites 3 has 5 available and 2 on hold. So we got lots of activity going on with people wanting to move in. Willows Arbor currently has 24 units available and 2 on hold, which brings our total campus occupancy to 94%. So, nice job to our sales and marketing team who continues to just, be on the perpetual wheel. Yes, ma'am.
What is that in number of persons?
What is that in number of persons? I don't have that number, but we can certainly get that for you, unless someone else in the room knows it. About 600, Brett? Between 600 and 700 approximately individuals on campus. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to mention is put a little plug in for our upcoming box office benefit. It will be the 54th annual benefit, and it is at the Starlight Theater at Rock Valley College on Sunday, July 12th. And this year's show will be The Wizard of Oz. Hopefully you received a postcard or some collateral advertising that. This is our annual benefit that supports the Good Samaritan Fund and the Peterson Meadows Endowment Fund. Tickets will be on sale immediately following this meeting out in the lobby. And there are a couple of options if you are interested in having lunch before the show. Tickets will be $80 if you purchase before July 1st. So today sounds like a good option to do that. After July 1st, they will be $90. Or if you're not interested in having lunch, you can buy tickets for the show only at $50. So we appreciate your support of that. It sounds like a wonderful way to spend a Sunday in July. Yes, ma'am.
What does lunch entail?
What does lunch entail?
We don't know yet.
It's a box lunch? My understanding is it's a box lunch. All right, that is the information I have to share with you today. Again, thank you for having me.
Are there any other questions or comments? Bob?
I have a question. This year is the 100th anniversary of Route 66. And I'm not sure how many people might be interested in this, but Pontiac, Illinois is one of the places that has quite a bit of information about Route 66. But in addition to that, about about maybe half a dozen miles east of there, is the grave site of the Civil War woman from Ireland. She was born in Ireland in 1845, and she fought as a Union soldier as a female and wasn't discovered as a male until late in life. She is either known by Albert Cashiers, how she signed up, or Jenny Hodges. And there are gravestones that represent both of those. And so I was just curious if there's anybody in September, October who might like to go see that and the museum on Route 66 in Pontiac. Any hands? There you go. Thank you.
Is there anything else? The next meeting will be June 24th at 3 o'clock in this room. So having completed the agenda, we adjourn this meeting and we'll see you next month.